Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm always very happy about an exchange of ideas with my viewers, and I'm also very happy about a suggestion or perhaps a question to my album or to my dice or something like that. I took this as an opportunity to shoot this video. I had a request from a viewer about this album. She would like to have a tutorial, but I am very sorry I can't deliver that. At that time I didn't have a YouTube channel and I never filmed my project. I only filmed the flip through later on to provide an inspiration for those who might have these die set too. I used in the past and also now this die set from Tonic Studios. This one is the most important die of the set. You must use it to create this album. The great thing about this die is that you have the scoring lines and also it cuts in the same time. So you can also fill the album with layers, which also gives the whole thing stability. And you have these two dies for nice layers. One is bigger than the other, and you have also these little dots and embossing lines, and it is really nice to see on your papers. I am not sure if you can buy the set, but the name is Live Every Moment Keepsake Wallet Creator Die Set. Very complicated, but very useful. And perhaps there are some users who have this die set, and yeah, it's sometimes not so easy to find a solution, to find a construction for this set, and I had also to think about it, and I have now two solutions for you. This is my album I made the first time with the set, and yeah, I don't have a tutorial, but I will explain later on how I made the pages and also how I combine everything together. But I must say you now that I don't make the same thing again. Yeah, and I hope that is okay for you. But I explain how I made the album, the last one, and now I show you another solution, and I hope that is interesting for you. Yeah, and now I show you some dies. These are the dies which make holes in the paper, and you can use these holes as a binding, but you can use it also as an ornament or a decoration. I'm not using them as a binding here. I came up with another solution and I will show you everything. Now I'll remove this very pretty die from the paper and show it to you. I will use this die very often. I will use them in total, I think, 16 times. Yeah, I need it very often to have my decoration for my flaps. And by the way, I decided to use a designer paper that I bought on Etsy. It's from the Janey B Journal shop. I think it's great that you can print out the paper as many times as you need for your album. In this case, it's a Christmas edition. I also cut out some papers with a die cutting machine that I drew myself. these were created on my iPad. I don't know yet if I really use them all, but I prepared a lot for this album and I wanted to have enough paper. If I don't need it, I can use it for another project. I made this introduction after my crafting. I wanted to explain a few things first. If you have any questions about the die set or this album, feel free to ask me. I try to answer as soon as possible. At the moment, I'm working a lot on projects for Advent and Christmas, but I always like to have time for other crafters and answer their questions, or perhaps find a solution for problems or something like that. And now I hope that you have also fun with my video. It was a lot of fun to prepare everything, and I hope that I will have a nice album at the end and also a nice gift for a friend. You have to do a lot of die cutting, but you have a die set and you must not measure anything. And that is really a big advantage. Here you have now 8 pages. I made 8 pages with my die set, and it is a white paper, a strong white cardstock, and I use the biggest die of this lovely die set. For my album I used a paper with 250 GSM, and I made with the biggest die, I show you now, 8 pages, as I said before. And when you have 8 pages, you need 16 pages for your decoration. Yes, 16 pages, because you need one in the front and one on the back side of your page. I did a little bit preparation, and here you can see what I cut out with a smaller die. Several pages of designer paper. The papers are handmade. This is Clairefontaine. I bought this. It is thinner paper than my 250 GSM paper. And on the left side is now the paper I bought in an Etsy shop. And the name of the shop is Janey B Journal. And I bought a Christmas set, a selection. And I use these papers. In the album which I made first, I glued everything together, and then afterwards I decorated the pages. Here I want to do it different. I will now immediately stick the designer paper on the main pages. This is now the Clairefontaine paper, and it is very shiny and nice, and it has 120 GSM. And yeah, I would recommend not to glue it with liquid glue. Otherwise, you can see the glued spot through the paper. I would recommend a different adhesive for this. Maybe tape is a better choice. For the thick paper, the 250 GSM, liquid glue is the right choice. You have to be a little bit careful when you are applying the glue, I mean the liquid glue. I recommend applying the liquid glue before the embossed dots. This has the advantage that the glue cannot come through. We want to keep the beautiful paper clean as much as possible. Also, the embossing is really beautiful, and I want to see all these little details, and I don't want to damage my embossed areas with liquid glue. I really like using liquid glue for gluing inside the pages in an album because it's more stable and sturdy. I've had bad experiences with tape before and the pages fell apart afterwards, and that is not nice. You have so many work with your album, with your pages, and I think it is really useful to use the liquid glue, and it is very easy to use it. You can see it now. I press my tool. It is a tool from Tonic Studios. It is a very good tool because it is, I think it is made with Teflon or something like that, and you don't have any marks on your paper when you're pressing it on your paper. Very, very nice. Yeah, and I like also the image of this die, and it is something very special, I think, and I like really the die set of Tonic Studios, and it is very easy to put everything together, and you have really fast, good results. So. Yeah, and now we have the next page ready to go. Here I have different pages I made before, and now I show you again something, but I don't want to repeat everything because that is a little bit boring for you. Now I show you which things I made in the meantime, and these are my prepared papers. Perhaps you know that I make very often junk journals, and this is packaging paper, and it is prepared with thin paper. I glued on the packaging paper and I painted it black, and I only use it now to show you how I made my album before. It is only a flip through on my channel with my photo album, and I use the same die set, and I have a special idea of the construction of my album, and now I show you. I would glue this page like this on the left side and turn it around, this one, and glue it on the right side. Here you can see the binding. It is an album you can open from both sides. It is something like a lap book, and you have two bindings on the left and on the right side. Now you can see the next page. I would glue it on the left binding, and this page I would turn around and glue it on the right side. When you use your die, you have a small line which is for the binding, and I think it is 1 centimeter score line, and I score it very well, and these lines you can use to glue things together. You can make it, of course, completely different, but this was the way I made my album before. But I must tell you now, I hope you are not disappointed, but I am not making the same album again. That is boring for me. And I want to use the things I make. I'm a crafter who use these things, and I want to have a present for a friend, and this is now I is more for the Christmas time, and I want to glue little pockets inside, but I will show you everything, and I have another part of this video. It is the second part of this album, and you can see how I have now another idea to put everything together, and it is another construction of this album and the use of a die set, and I think that is perhaps also interesting for you. Here you can see very easily how I glued my pages before, but I will not use these things now as I show you here in my video. I make it different, but I only wanted to explain it because someone asked me how I made the album before, and here you can see it. This was my solution. Of course, I will not use this black cover because it is too big. I will use it for a junk journal and for something else, but not in this case. Before, in my first album, I made a little flap and I turned it over like this. You can also do this in an album you want to make. There, again, I'm repeating everything, but you have so many possibilities to use your dies, and you can also make cards or use different die sets from Tonic Studios together. And I have another die set, and I will use one die in the second part of my album to make my pockets. I will show you as soon as possible, but I need a little bit time to translate everything. And of course I need a little bit time to upload my videos. And yeah, it is always a little bit time consuming, but I will show you as soon as possible the second part of my video. I hope that this little video is an inspiration for you, and perhaps it helps a little bit to use your dies, and it is a very special die set, and yeah, now you have some more ideas, I hope. Now I will present my solution for this album. I take the 1 centimeter binding and glue both sides together. You have to be careful that you apply the adhesive in front of the fold line, otherwise you cannot turn the pages well. You need to press it well, and of course you have to view your lines because you want to have it straight and of course sturdy, because this is your binding and you will glue it in the cover. Yeah, here are my pages, and I have the flaps inside my pages. And these are 4 pages I prepared in the meantime, and it is now something you can recognize as an album. Of course, there's still the cover missing, but the pages are ready to go. Here I show you all the papers together, and you need really 8 main pages. And for the decoration, the front side and the back side, you need 16 papers. They are nearly DIN A5 large pages, but you must not die cut them out, but I think it looks really nice. I also measured the spine of the book. I will need at least 6 centimeters. For the sides, I probably need 17 or 18 centimeters, but that will all come in the next part of my video and will also be changed a little bit because I'm going to put pockets in my album, and I will put 24 tea bags in my pockets. You have to take that into account when you are designing the cover. That's why I will finish it at the very end. Then hopefully I will go really well and everything fits together. As you know, I had a lot of work with my preparation for this album, and I have also my handmade designer papers, but you must not use these papers. It is only a suggestion, and I am not sure if I will use everything. This would also be nice on it, but I think I will glue my pockets inside this page, and yeah, I think that really doesn't make sense to have this very beautiful shiny paper on this side, and I will do something else. Yeah, I hope that this video will help you a little bit, and I hope that you will also follow my YouTube channel, and perhaps you subscribe to my channel, and then you will not miss anything I will show you in the future. There will be a next part of my album, but I can't tell you now when I have it ready. And yeah, I wish you now a very nice day and happy crafting.